A fellow officer that you've been verbally abusive in a public place, which would be a Section 4A public order.
I have it all recorded, officer.
That's fine. Please.
She's lied to you. Now you threatened me with arrest, which has now made me have to give my details. So I will have to make a call to my...
Welcome to Noxium, where police power meets public accountability.
This episode is brought to us by News Now Yorkshire. In this episode, News Now Yorkshire is operating a drone outside a police station when a sergeant chooses to lead with ego rather than the law. She falsely claims that he swore at her, a complete fabrication that the footage immediately disproves, and instead of addressing him directly, she positions herself behind a line of colleagues to uphold her version of events. Ultimately, this misuse of authority backfires, as the legal consequences make it clear that while a sergeant may attempt to construct a narrative on the street, evidence cannot be manufactured.
Is it for any particular purpose? Is it a hobby? Is it a research project? Anything like that?
I don't know yet. At the minute, just sort of flying around, see what happens.
Right. I understand an officer's just tried to have a word with you on the way into the car park.
She sort of shouted at me in a plain clothes, personal car, so I didn't have a clue who she was.
Apparently you've told her to pee off.
Did I?
That's what she said to us. If that's the case, that's not acceptable, is it?
Well, that's why we wear independent witnesses that never lie.
Right. What do you mean by that? Right, okay. Well, yeah, I've got mine on as well, so...
Well, thanks for letting me know.
Can I take your details, just so we know what you're doing, and you're recorded on our systems, and we've got the fact what you're doing, and to make sure you're not to no good?
No, I'd rather not, if that's okay.
Okay. Why is that?
Because I haven't done anything wrong.
Well, I just need to make sure that you're not, like, sort of in line with any terrorist groups or anything like that you could be using for hostile reconnaissance or anything of that nature.
Do you suspect I'm a terrorist officer?
Well, I don't know until I speak to you. Do I? Until I take your details and check you through.
Is that what you do with everybody?
If you're verbally abusive to people, then you have technically committed a public order offence for which I would require your details.
Okay.
They descend on him with a pre-packaged script, treating a sergeant's unfounded allegation of swearing as an established fact to justify their aggression. News Now Yorkshire refuses to be drawn into their verbal trap, instead cutting through the noise by pointing directly to his camera, a move that immediately exposes the gap between an officer's spoken claim and the objective reality captured on footage. When the fabricated profanity fails to secure compliance, they pivot to a far more troubling tactic, baselessly invoking terrorism as grounds for a mandatory ID check. This is not a legitimate, intelligence-led inquiry. It is a calculated pressure tactic designed to intimidate a citizen who understands his rights.
So that's why I'm asking you for them as well.
Right.
So could I have your name and date of birth and address, please?
What, you think I've committed a public order offence?
Yeah, because an officer's just told me that you've sworn at her in the street.
Well, I need to get her to make that statement then, because she's lying.
Well, she's just told me as she's driven in that you've sworn at her.
Did she?
Yeah.
Right, well, I'll be making a complaint about her then.
That's absolutely
And if you
fine.
take my details, I will have to sue West Yorkshire Police.
That's not a problem. You feel free to do so. The reason I've explained the reasons why I'm asking you for your details.
What happens if I don't give my details?
Then you're potentially committing an offence.
Well, I will...
It's a lot easier if you do, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't want to give my details.
Okay.
I will if you tell me that I'll be arrested if I don't.
Well, potentially you may be, yeah. It may make your arrest necessary under Section 24 of the Police and Criminal Evidence Act, because your name and address can't be verified.
Right.
And I've got reasonable grounds to suspect that you've committed an offence.
What reasonable grounds is that?
But I've been told by a fellow officer that you've been verbally abusive in a public place, which would be a Section 4A public order.
I have it all
offence.
recorded, officer.
That's fine.
Do you want me to show you the recording?
Not at the moment, but I want...
Because I could show you the recording.
I want you to...
And then you would know.
Details, and I've explained it to you. You've asked me to explain it to you, and I've laid it out plain and simple.
The logic here collapses into circular reasoning, where a public order offence exists not through evidence but solely by the sergeant's decree. When News Now Yorkshire asks about the consequences of non-compliance, the response becomes a masterclass in recycled threats. A refusal to provide details for a fabricated offence is suddenly reframed as fresh grounds for arrest. By invoking Section 24 of PACE without a shred of objective proof, these officers demonstrate that their stated necessity for arrest is driven by convenience and the assertion of rank rather than the law. Most damning of all is their outright refusal to review the auditor's footage, evidence that would immediately resolve the dispute.
I don't think I have to give my details, officer.
You do.
I do.
You've been verbally abusive towards somebody.
I haven't, though.
She's alleging that you have.
I haven't, though.
As I said before, I've got reasonable grounds to suspect that you've committed a public order offence.
But I haven't.
Okay? Listen to me. Because of that nature, that's why I require your details. And
right.
as I've explained to you, if you don't give me your name and address, and can't verify who you are, it may make your arrest necessary in order to ascertain those details.
Will you arrest me if I don't?
I'm not saying I definitely will, but I'm saying it may make your arrest necessary.
Am I being detained right now?
At the moment, because I need your details.
Yeah, I'm being detained.
Potentially, if you don't give me your details, you may be arrested as well.
No, I just want to check if I'm being detained right now.
I don't understand why you can't just give me your details.
I'd rather not. That's the point.
But I'm asking you to.
If I have to by law, then I will.
You do have to by law, yeah.
Okay, and what section of law says I have to?
I'm telling you that because you've committed committed an offence.
I haven't, though.
I suspect that you have.
You suspect that I have?
I suspect that you have.
Okay.
I only need reasonable grounds to suspect. That's 2 to 3 out of 10 on the scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
I've got that reasonable suspicion.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. Can you let me know that lady's name or collar number?
So she's a sergeant who was off duty at the time, coming into work for whatever reason. I don't know why,
because
but she's a police
she's
officer.
lied to you. Now you threatened me with arrest, which has now made me have to give my details. So I will have to make a call to my solicitor.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, okay.
You go right ahead.
The officers boxed him into a corner with a manufactured necessity: provide your name or lose your freedom. This is not a legitimate application of arrest powers. It amounts to a coercive demand. By asserting that they had to arrest News Now Yorkshire simply to establish his identity, they distorted Pace Code G from a legal safeguard into a tool for extracting personal details. An arrest cannot lawfully be used to compel compliance, particularly when the underlying suspicion is founded on a false premise. When he eventually provided his identification, it was not an admission of guilt or a genuine act of cooperation. It was a response to a deliberately engineered escalation.
I can't believe she lied to you, officer. I have got it all recorded, though, just so you know.
If you want to make a complaint,
yeah, I will be making a complaint straight away. Yeah, definitely, definitely.
I haven't got
Is that what she actually said to you? I told her to pee off.
As I drove out of the gate, she was driving in, and she said, "Will I have a word with you?"
Yeah.
Because she'd spoken to you, and you told her to. I'm not going to say the full word. Pee off. You understand what I mean by that?
I understand what you're saying, but she's lying to you. You know that, don't you?
Well, if she's lying to me, she's lying to me. If it's on your camera, then you've got grounds for a complaint.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
I'm not lying to you. I can only go about.
You know, last time this happened, I got £1,000 for it. You know.
Right.
Yeah, that was at Humberside, though.
What was that? What was that in relation to, though?
Because someone said I was committing antisocial behaviour, so the officer unlawfully used Section 50 of the Police Reform Act to gain my details, just like you've unlawfully used Section 5 to gain my details. Okay. And then they offered me £1,000 for my trouble.
I haven't used Section 5.
Oh, what did you use?
You've potentially committed an offence under Section 4A of the Public Order Act.
Oh, okay. Section 4A.
Yeah.
And that requires me to give my details.
It doesn't require you to give your details.
You just told me it did.
What I'm saying, no, you're twisting my...
The word potentially is doing all the heavy lifting here, because the officers have nothing substantive to rely on. By sheltering behind phrases such as potentially an offence or potentially a Section 4A, they attempt to convert pure speculation into a legal foothold. But Section 4A is not a discretionary or speculative power. It requires clear intent and a demonstrable impact. This constant shifting, moving from one power to another, is not the mark of a focused investigation. It is the sound of a legal scramble. If a genuine offence had been committed, the narrative would not keep changing. Before we continue, there is something I have been developing over the past few months with a small team. It is called Under What. Whether people accept it or not, the legal landscape in this country is changing. Powers are broad, enforcement is active, new legislation is introduced rapidly, and most people only realize the gaps in their knowledge when they are already in a situation. Under what has been built so you can understand the system you live under at all times. Inside, there are over 100 fully interactive legal guides. This is not passive reading. You make decisions and see how those choices affect your legal safety, escalation risk, and evidential position. StopBot is integrated into the platform, a policing-focused AI designed specifically around UK law. It breaks down powers and thresholds clearly in a guided format, working like a tutor to expand on the material and reinforce your understanding so you are not second-guessing yourself. There is also a daily UK policing news feed focused on real-world activity, incidents, operational shifts, and crime, alongside exclusive in-depth articles from me analyzing police misconduct cases, upcoming legislation, and what it all means in practice. In addition, there are practical protection tools, a live drone safety map with NOTAM awareness, a civil claim checker to assess potential liability, a police complaint generator, a subject access request builder, with more features being added. This is not built around outrage. It exists because policing in the UK is at a critical point, and staying informed, prepared, and protected has never been more important. It launches soon at an affordable monthly price. If you want to see it properly when it goes live, the Underwatch channel is linked below in the description.
I'm saying to you is because I've got reasonable grounds to suspect that you've committed an offence. Yeah. If you don't give me your details, it may make your arrest necessary under Section 24 of PACE.
Oh, okay.
Because your name and address cannot be verified.
Right.
And I suspect that you've committed an offence.
Well, that's a full explanation. Thank you for that.
That's what I said to you the first time.
Well, I didn't get that explanation, so maybe you didn't explain it properly, and maybe I didn't understand.
Well, you understand it now, though.
I do, 100%. Yeah, yes. I can't believe she lied to you, and she's a sergeant. She's going around lying to you guys. Do you want me to show you the video?
No.
Is it because you know that she's lying?
I don't know that she's lying.
I think you know. Okay. I think you know. I think you do know.
We're literally just going off what we've been told.
Yeah, what you've been told is a lie, though, is what I'm saying. I could show you the video now and show you that she's lying. What do you guys reckon? Your personal opinion?
My personal opinion doesn't matter. I don't work. My personal opinion has to stay at home when I come to work.
Well, use your detective skills then. What do you think?
This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Speaking to you.
Well, yeah, I could have showed you the video.
To find out your version of events.
No, what you're doing is getting my details unlawfully.
Okay. I've already explained to you the reason why.
I could have showed you the video and then you would have no reason to get my details.
If you're happy to show me the video, I'm happy to watch it. It's not a problem.
Well, there's no point now because you've already given my details.
This is the moment any facade of fairness completely evaporates. By repeatedly refusing to review the footage, the only objective record of the encounter, the officers abandon professional assessment in favor of blind reliance on a colleague's hearsay. One officer even concedes she is acting solely on what she has been told, confirming that they were not weighing evidence but instead protecting a narrative they did not want challenged. They only decided the video was relevant after they had already secured his personal details through pressure. That timing is a clear indicator. If the objective had been to establish the truth, the footage would have been reviewed from the outset.
I might as well speak to my solicitor now and get my £1,000.
You've offered to show me the video, then that's fine.
Yeah. Then you see that your sergeant's a liar.
Well, show me it if you want to show me it. I'm not bothered.
Am I being detained?
No, you're free to go. Thank you for giving me your details. Just be careful where you're flying it.
No, I won't.
Obviously, bear in mind that side of the gate and the fence is private property.
Oh, no, I've already been over there.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go over again.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
But bear in mind that you may be spoken to again by an officer if it's deemed that your drone's interfering with any police activities or anything like that.
All right, well, I've got permission to be here.
From
the Civil Aviation Authority.
Okay, have you got that in writing? Have you got anything on you can show me to confirm that?
Do I need to?
Well, I'm not just going to believe you, am I?
Well, I'm not just going to believe you that your sergeant's a liar.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to get drawn into this back and forth with you.
You've already been drawn into it.
I've spoken to you. I've ascertained what you're doing. As long as you're not interfering
what happened to the Section 4A?
That's fine. I'm not going to take any further action against it.
No further action?
Yeah.
Why? Because you know that she's a liar?
I'm going to give you words of advice.
No, I don't want your words of advice.
Well, I'm going to offer you
can
them.
stick your words of advice.
Right, I'm going to offer you them anyway.
No, I don't want.
The moment his details are secured, the entire legal facade collapses, revealing that the officer's interest was never truly in the law. All the forceful rhetoric surrounding public order, terrorism, and specific statutory powers simply disappears the instant the paperwork is complete. This is not coincidence. It is a clear indication of intent. If those alleged offenses had carried genuine weight, they would not have been abandoned the moment a name was provided. Legitimate threats are not dismissed so readily. Once the requirement was satisfied, the officers had no justification to remain, demonstrating that every assertion made beforehand was a calculated tactic to compel a result they had no lawful basis to demand.
Speak to people in future.
But I didn't speak to anybody in any... she's a liar. I never told her to pee off. She's an absolute liar. I will be making a complaint. Okay. I will be suing. Thank you very much. What's your details?
6468.
From the station?
Yep.
Your details?
290.
From the station?
Yep.
And her details?
She'll find those out for you. I believe her name's Sergeant Wiltshire, or Wiltshire, my apologies.
Sergeant Wiltshire?
Yep.
And her numbers?
I don't know them.
Well, I need her numbers.
I don't know them.
We'll have to radio through them.
I don't know them.
She's the one that made the complaint. I need to make a complaint about the lying sergeant.
Just ask to speak to Sergeant Wiltshire. She works on Team 4 Patrol South at Ellen Road. That's all you'll need.
Well, can't you just radio through and ask for her details?
No, because she's not actually on duty at the moment, because she was in, as you said, she was in a civilian car in a civilian clothing, so she's...
You could ring the control room and ask what her caller number is.
I can't do that at the moment because I'm too busy, but you've got all the details.
But you weren't too busy to come and talk to me?
Thank you very much.
Yeah? See you later, sausages.
Prefer bacon.
The legal fallout from this encounter is inevitable, because the entire incident was built on a fiction that collapsed the moment it was challenged. When a sergeant's false allegation of swearing is treated as unquestioned truth by colleagues who refuse even to review exculpatory footage, policing ceases to be evidence-led and instead becomes an exercise in tactical intimidation. The officers were content to remain on scene while issuing threats of arrest and even invoking terrorism in an effort to obtain his identity. Yet they suddenly became unavailable the moment News Now Yorkshire requested the caller numbers required for accountability. This stark double standard, decisive when demanding compliance, yet evasive when faced with scrutiny, exposes the true nature of the stop. It was never about public order or national security. The fact that every serious concern vanished the instant they obtained what they wanted confirms there was never a genuine offense to begin with, only a misuse of power that must now answer in court. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps support independent coverage. Also, be sure to check out News Now Yorkshire. His channel is linked in the description. Thanks for watching.